Hello Artcadets and welcome to this week's video. So today we're going to do the last entry into our summer scrapbook, and I thought for a change we'd do some tissue paper art. And being that everyone's still into emojis, I thought maybe we'd use one of the characters from the Emoji movie, and the character I've chosen is the high five. So I think his name is Gimmie. If you're ready, let's go. So I started off by drawing an outline of High Five's hand, and I just used a Sharpie marker for this. I used a bronze colour just because I didn't want to do a harsh black outline, but you can do whatever colour you like. And I just went round and made a nice simple shape, as clear as I could, ready for the tissue paper. Now I just want to say at this stage that the bigger that you do your picture, the easier it probably is to get into the details. And here I'm just showing that I cut out the tissue paper colours that I've got, and I thought it would be good to use the same size pieces of tissue for each of the little screwed up tissue balls that I was going to put onto the picture. And this just meant that each of the balls I made would be roughly the right size or the same size, but it doesn't really matter because it took a little bit of a while to cut them all out. So you can tear off pieces as you go if you find that easier and you haven't got time to cut them all out individually. So the only thing that you really need is the tissue paper and some PVA glue, and then it's all very straightforward. So you just screw up your little tissue paper squares and place them with the glue onto your picture. And I started off by doing the eyes first, just because I didn't want them to get lost in the rest of the drawing. And trying to sort of put as many of the little tissue paper balls in that shape as I could, so that you get a really nice block of colour. So try and fit as many as you can within your outline shape, and that gives a really nice block of colour. And I sort of pushed them together and made sure as far as I could that I still showed some of the lines that I'd drawn, especially between the fingers of High Five, because I didn't want it to just look like I'd done a big block of pink. And this way you could at least still see the separate fingers. I just have to say as well that I know he's flesh coloured, but I didn't have any flesh coloured tissue paper, so I went with pink. And this is a project that is so easy and fun, and there are endless things that you can do. So you don't have to do a character, you can do a flower, you can do a butterfly, you can do anything that your heart desires really. And you can make it as simple or as complicated as you like. I also found it easier, rather than gluing the individual tissue paper balls, just to glue an area at a time. This made it a bit less messy and I think a bit quicker. So nearing the end then, and just the legs left to do. So you can just colour these in if it's a bit too detailed, and the other thing you can do is you can make smaller rolled up balls of tissue paper just by tearing up your little rectangles or your shapes into smaller pieces. And for this bit I decided to place them before I glued them on, just to see that it would look okay. And then once I'd done that, I just picked them off, glued the underneath and stuck them back on. So that was pretty much finished. It was just left to do a few more details, and I did some more white tissue paper for his eyes and built those up a bit because they had got a bit lost underneath all that pink, and then just did a small amount of blue on top with a smaller piece of tissue paper just to give him the pupils. And then just a finishing touch, I went in with my white gel pen and just put some reflection into his eyes. And I also noticed that his plaster on his finger wasn't just one colour, it was speckledy, so I put some white gel pen on that as well. And that was it, pretty much done. So to jazz up the background, I thought it would be a bit of fun to use some of these soft pastels and a cotton marble and just smudge around the outline to give it a bit more colour. Now the only thing I think I did wrong here was I'd used quite a shiny piece of card to stick the tissue paper onto, so the pastel didn't really stick too well to it. But I still managed to blend it in fairly smoothly, and by using two colours I thought it made it look quite pretty and stand out. And then all that was left to do was to stick it into our scrapbook. Done. So I thought, being that this was the last week, I'd show you putting the picture into our scrapbook and also do a little flip through of our scrapbook completed. I cannot believe that we've already done 6 weeks of scrapbook and the summer is almost done and everyone's back to school. So I really hope you've had fun, and I have got some really good ideas for next week, so make sure you come back and join us for that. And that's it for today. So if you've missed any of the videos for any of the weeks, then do go back and have a look. I will try and put some links to them at the top of each week so that you can click on those. But I had a really good summer and I'm really glad that you could join and spend it with me. And thank you to all of you subscribers and all of you new subscribers, and it's all that support that makes doing this all so worthwhile. For today, Artcadets, I hope you've enjoyed making a picture out of tissue paper, and if you have, don't forget to give it a like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and join us next week where we'll be doing something new. Bye!